Hello, my esteemed viewers. This is BBI Channel 1, and I still remain your host, your one and only, Asuzu Chinedu Peters. Today, on this episode on Biafra Discuss, I shall be talking about the media and the effect it's having on Biafra agitation. Actually, I can, in one sentence, summarize that the media houses, especially in Nigeria, and as well, the international media houses, are playing down on Biafra agitation and putting it on the wrong perspective. Actually, most of the reports about Biafra is always put out on the negative light. And that is why I am here to discuss on these issues, on how media houses have been pitching Biafran agitators against themselves with the way they report Biafra issues. Today, if you look right here, you see two newspapers I shall be using as a point of departure, as a point of reference to what I am about to discuss this morning. So I admonish you to sit back there and get everything that I shall be putting out here, and you will be allowed to put down your comments, your opinion on this video, so that we get your own opinion as well. Over the years since the Biafran agitation started, it is widely known that Biafra have been seen from the negative perspective, and you can give credit and kudos to the media on how they are reporting Biafra issues. The way the Biafran agitation is being carried along by the media is a thing of concern, of great concern, because the way they report the issue of Biafra agitation does not truly reflect the opinion and aspiration of Biafran people who are agitating for freedom, especially those at the front burner, different pro-Biafran groups and their leadership. Currently, we all know about the indigenous people of Biafra and the agitation for self-determination. There has been a split in the House that lasted for over 4 years, spanning from 2013 to 2017. This major crisis splitted the House of the indigenous people of Biafra between the Nnamdi Kanu-led IPOB through Radio Biafra and the customary government of indigenous people of Biafra as led by the Council of Elders. This fight lasted for nearly 4 years, and the media have helped to, make the fight between these pro-Biafran groups to escalate. And we've not looked down, we've not looked inward to understand how the media houses have been manipulating Biafran agitators and their opinion that always ignite division among them. Anytime, anywhere, Biafran people try to pull themselves together, something somewhere or somehow will split them up. And I have pinned it down to media manipulation and how they have been doing that all these years. And after this video, I believe that most Biafran people that will be watching this video and the world at large will understand the role the media is playing to divide the Biafran people and put Biafra on the negative spot. Some of us do not know that indigenous people of Biafra, through the legal arm, that's Believe Human Rights Initiative, sued Nigeria to court. Some of you who knows that will always see from the perspective that the court case or the legal process will never give Biafran people any result. Rather, the Nigerian media have always chosen to portray and promote probably the agitation on the street. Anytime Biafrans are being killed, you see that make headline. Anytime there is a fight between one pro-Biafran group or the other, you will see that make headline. But anytime Biafra people records some great milestone in the agitation for Biafra through the legal process, no news, no media platform will report it. The court have been sitting for self-determination at Federal High Court of Owerri since 2012 up to today. The secular media, the international medias, have never reported this case. And it bothers us. Why are they playing down on these reports? Now, what actually made me to make this video today, focusing on the media and the role they are playing in making Biafran agitation to look so cacophonic, is because of this report I have right here in these two newspapers. Right here, we have Sun newspaper here. Many of you must have seen this story before. Many of you must have seen this story before. And I'm going to show you what the media is doing and how it is connected to Biafran agitation. And as well, this one as well, the Sunday Telegraph. I'm also going to show you the role the media is playing to undermine or to split or cause confusion among the ranks and file of Biafran agitators. The Biafran agitators are not left out in contributing to the way and manner at which these media houses report their news. I will take the first concern with respect to the way the media houses report some of the agitators in their news report. I have read some articles online and I discovered that some Biafran agitators are not concerned with the word, the choice of word they use when addressing the press. And as a result of this, these media houses capture on these words, blow it beyond proportion, escalate it in such a way that an average person will not understand what is actually happening, putting Biafra in a negative spot. Now, let me start this analysis with Sun newspaper. Like I said earlier, the Biafran agitation under IPOB, when the house got splitted, basically ideological differences, then the IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu and those led by the Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra, the headlines have always carried it. Not just the split between IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB led by the Council of Elders. The ones, the split between MASOB, BIM, the split between the ranks and file, or even IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu, you see them make headline. Now, this fight between this quarrel between IPOB, the faction led by Nnamdi Kanu, and that led by the Council of Elders, you see that on the many media platforms online and also on the front pages making headlines in newspapers. This fight has continued over these years and it has been making headlines in various newspaper and media houses. But recently something happened. You all know that few weeks ago, the leadership of two different factions of IPOB, the one led by Nnamdi Kanu and the one led by the Council of Elders, which Dr. Dozie Ikedife is the Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council of Elders, had a meeting, a reconciliation meeting, where both bodies agreed to work together as one force and bury their differences.
This is my father, in more ways than one, for those who don't understand it. Very personal relationship that runs very deep, beyond the understanding of many. So I'm here to pay homage to him. I'm here to acknowledge him for all the work he has been doing. I'm also here to re-emphasize about the need for the bonding which is now taking place all around every agitating group in Biafra land. And also to tell him that as we were before, so have we returned to now. What happened was a misunderstanding, a monumental misunderstanding and misinformation that led to the slight issues that we had in the past, which we have now resolved and buried.
No, ma'am. No. No. Tell the world that IPOB is one.
There, many media platforms were allowed to cover that historic event, which we believe is a new dawn for the Biafran agitation to move together as one force, which many agreed that unity is paramount for Biafra to have hope of gaining back her sovereignty, which they lost over 50 years ago. Now, that event was covered by almost all the media houses, newspaper, television outfits, and the rest of them, radio stations, and the rest of them. Now, it surprises me that after that historic event, when the Biafran people, when the hope of restoring Biafra and pursuing the freedom of our nation as our people have been rekindled with this reconciliation and unity, it surprises me that no media outfit, none of the media outfit that covered this historic event that day made their headlines or their news report. And it doesn't really hurt when your enemies try to undermine you and suppress you. But when your own person, when someone you believe is part of you, is also within the process of undermining and also playing the same game as your enemies against you. That is why I was so furious with Sun newspaper. They were there, the reporters were there, other media platforms covered this story, and we hoped that it will make the headline. Since Biafran fights among themselves, that pro-Biafran groups among themselves fighting against themselves always make headline. I believe that the unity and reconciliation of Biafran people should also make headline. But did it? Now let's find out. We all believe and know widely that Sun newspaper is owned by former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu. And it has carried so many reports about Biafra, IPOB, and the rest of them. And most of the reports there are always on the negative spot. 20 Biafrans shot dead, IPOB split. All these negative headlines, that is what you'll be seeing. Things that they call it commercial headline. Things that we pinch Biafra in the negative spot. That is all you see at the headline. And I hoped, probably, is it because something good or things that are happening around Biafra are all negative? Is it that there is absolute absence of anything good, worthwhile, that should be reported in the newspapers are not coming forth? No is the answer, because that event cleared the whole doubt. After this reconciliation meeting, I was there, Nnamdi Kanu was there, Dr. Ikedife was there, Engineer Nebo, the administrator of the customary government, was there, Rita Anibog, the DG of mobbing. Many other people were the stakeholders, including Law Mefo, the elder brother to Uche Mefo, who is the deputy director of Radio Biafra, second in command to Nnamdi Kanu. All of us were there at that reconciliation meeting. And we hoped that that would be a turnaround event, that the media will report that Biafran people have come together as one people to pursue their freedom. But the other way, it happened from the other opposite direction. Now, this is Sun newspaper. And supposedly, that was the Sun newspaper of June 25th, 2017. You see, I've always said that, like in Igbo dialect, if Oniro Meroge is noted, If only you megi, yes, we know that. But in Kimerongwegi, what I'm saying in essence is that what your enemies, what your oppressors, what your oppositions are doing against you, it matters. Honestly, it matters. What your enemy does to you to undermine you matters. What your oppressors does to you, whatever they do to you, matters a lot. But what you do to yourself is paramount. Orji Uzor Kalu is widely known that he is the owner of this paper. And also, he's a Biafran by implication, being an Igbo man. Good. Now, the news of Evans, if you look at this headline, you see that this is Evans. Evans is an Igbo man, he's a kidnapper, who is Nigerian media turned celebrity kidnapper. That every day he makes the headline. In fact, if you don't write Evans on top of your newspaper, you will not sell. Fine and good business for them. And there is no justification to whatever evil this man have committed. There is no justification. No, not whatsoever, irrespective of where he comes from. But know that it is not only Ivan that is into the game of kidnapping and other evil that is happening in Nigeria. Yes, the Arewa people have accused the Igbos with strong terms that they are the problem of Nigeria. If you listen to that Igbo quit notice given by Arewa youths, the so-called Arewa youths, but we know it is Arewa elders and their leadership. That is by the way. But if you listen to that video, they have accused the Igbos as the main problem of Nigeria.
The Igbos are also responsible for Nigeria's cultural and moral degeneracy, with their notorious involvement in all kinds of crimes, including international networking for drug and human trafficking, violent robberies and kidnappings, high-profile prostitution, and advanced financial fraud.
And the newspapers are actually helping to hide the justification that Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. Evans, an Igbo man. If you look right here, you will see that the headline reads, Evans Shocker, soldier gang member arrested. Soldier gang member arrested. By name, I think his name is Nonso somebody, he's from Onitsha. I'm not going to go into details in reading the report, but I believe most of you have seen it. Now, this report did not just make the headline. Some newspaper did everything possible to give it 4, if not more than 4 pages to report just this news about 2 Igbo kidnappers, one an army officer and the other one the celebrity kidnapper, the billionaire kidnapper, Evans. Now look at this. It is reported here. I'm driving somewhere. Just listen to this. I am driving somewhere. Listen attentively. They reported this on the headline. If you open up this newspaper, you can find this news from page 4 to page 7. From the back page, the headline, you now read from inside. From page 4 to 7. Look at it. Here. You see it. Evans Shocker, soldier gang member. Full page. Look at it here. Then you move over to the next page. Page 5. Evans exonerates suspect informants after 40 days. The same news on the kidnapper Evans. Page 6, page 7, all reporting the same news about the Igbo man kidnapper. Yes, he committed crime. Yes, he committed atrocities. In fact, most of his victims are Igbos too. If Igbo mere onwe fa, but that is by the way. Now, why am I saying it, and how does that connect to what I am saying about the Biafran groups being pinched against themselves by the media houses, and as well being undermined, the positive things happening around Biafra being undermined? This very news that carried these 4 to 5 pages of this Sun newspaper also reported the reconciliation of Biafran agitation. That's talking about the leadership of IPOBs led by Nnamdi Kanu and the Council of Elders, which we believed and thought it is more bigger story that should appeal to the consciousness of all Biafrans and the world at large, those following the Biafran agitation, those who thought that Biafran people can never speak with one voice, those who thought that Biafran people can never unite together as one force. Today, this same news report carried the same story. Now let's look for where this big, huge story was reported in this newspaper. To be frank with you, I have this paper since this date, but any day I try to look into this newspaper to find where this report is made, it takes me long time to find. And if I want to look for it, I'll start from the back page. Because if you're not careful, you will definitely skip the page. Why? Because they hid it in such a remote place that you cannot even discover this report. In fact, it will be absolutely impossible, nearly impossible, if I may say, for you to read this report right from this newspaper. The same newspaper that reported a van story 5 full pages could not report this all important news about Biafra agitation, this positive news that happened, this miracle that happened within the ranks and file of Biafran agitation and among the leadership of Biafran groups. Now look at where they reported this news. Even if, as you're looking at this news in this page, it will still be hard for you to pinpoint the exact news. Look at where they reported it and how they reported this huge news. Nnamdi Kanu makes peace with Ikedife. Nnamdi Kanu makes peace with Ikedife. That is where they reported this huge news. On page 47, the same newspaper that reported a verse on 5 pages, including the cover page, making the headline. Now let's turn over to the second newspaper. Let's look at the second newspaper and find out something. Sunday Telegraph, dated July 9th, 2017. I came across this news. In fact, someone posted this, sent this as an inbox through WhatsApp to me. Actually, the person is so close to Nnamdi Kanu, telling me how angry and disappointed my brother Nnamdi Kanu is with this report. After this report, I have not been myself. I have tried everything possible to see how the Biafran people can unite together, but this report has continued to tear the Biafran family apart. The report says, ideology splits IPOB. This report is coming after some weeks after this unity between Nnamdi Kanu and the Council of Elders. That is the two factions of IPOB coming together as one. And I saw this news. Ideology splits IPOB. It makes headline. Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish order. Elders. Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish orders. Elders. It went further to say he can't stop Anambra election. Kanu keeps mum. And it is reported also in page 4 of this newspaper. You can see it has explained all I've been saying all this while. The report of the unity of Biafran people was hidden in this newspaper. Then, a contrary opinion about Biafra splitting together, the pro-Biafran groups splitting together by ideology, and also the headline, Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish orders. Elders, meaning that the Supreme Council of Elders who have united in one united family with Nnamdi Kanu and the rest of Biafran groups are now calling Nnamdi Kanu foolish orders. Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish orders. And that is where the manipulation starts. I want to say this, and I want to make bold. You can quote me anywhere that the Supreme Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra never made such pronouncement. The leadership of the Supreme Council of Elders, led by retired Chief Justice Ezra Ozobu, deputized by Dr. Dozie Ikedife, with the secretary remains the Brigadier General Joe Atuzie, had never come up with this kind of utterance. Now we are going to find out how come they come up with such frivolic headline. If you are listening attentively while I was saying something in the past, I say that the leadership of pro-Biafran groups should be mindful of the choice of word they use while addressing the press with respect to Biafran agitation. This news, Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish order. After reading the details of this news, it was deduced from a publication by a prominent Biafran leader coming from Barrister Emeka Emekesri. I am not saying only about Barrister Emeka Emekesri. I'm also talking to and referring to all the leadership of pro-Biafran groups. Barrister Emeka Emekesri, Nnamdi Kanu, Dr. Chukwume Gemba, Rita Ebere Chukwu Anibogu, Engineer Anthony Aniebuo, Clifford Iranya Ndubisi Anienugu, Uche Mefo, and also myself. Whatsoever we say out there, Uche Namad and the rest of them, there are many of them. Whatsoever we say to the press, we should be mindful of the word we use, because our enemies are at a lookout to lay hold on anything that they can use to pinch Biafran people against themselves or position Biafra in the negative spot. I am not going to go into details of what Barrister Emeka published on his Facebook wall, which went viral on Facebook and other social media platforms, which necessitates this publication of saying Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish orders by elders. The elders, I can categorically say, you can quote me anywhere, never made this utterance. If there is any utterance that was made, I believe it is a reflection of one man's opinion, which was not even placed like this. What Barrister Emeka said, from what I read from his publication, simply said that it is foolishness for Biafran people to boycott election, and Biafran people will not be foolish to boycott election. And somebody comes up with this headline that Ignore Nnamdi Kanu's foolish orders, elders. Now, that is to tell you how far our enemies can go to pinch us against each other. I will advise Nnamdi Kanu, Barrister Emeka Emekesri, and all the stakeholders which have mentioned their names and those that didn't mention their names, to be careful with the word they use, with the choice of what they use, whenever they are talking about Biafra to any or addressing any press when they are discussing the issue of Biafra. I can remember and I can say During the time when after we had that meeting, the reconciliation meeting at Nnewi, the media came to interview Nnamdi Kanu. I was standing right beside him. He was talking about the elections, politics in Nigeria, and the involvement of Biafrans. He made categorically a statement that 2019 or thereabout, that there won't be election in Biafran land, else they gave us referendum. The media man went further to ask, what about Anambra election? And Nnamdi Kanu categorically said that there will be no election in Anambra State. Something made me, I said later on, I'm going to discuss with my brother. My big brother is my mentor, don't forget that. I've always said that, I maintain that. Some people had told me, why should I say that Nnamdi Kanu is my mentor? I said he's my mentor because of his courage, he's my mentor because of his determination and his focus, being focused. He's very focused to what he wants to get. How he wants to go about it is a total different ball game. But I'm talking about his person as an individual and what I look up to him to drive or to draw inspiration. Now, after making that statement during that press briefing after that meeting, now he said there will be no election in Anambra State. I saw a report on Vanguard newspaper online that says that Nnamdi Kanu denies saying that he did not say that there will be no election in Anambra State, bringing confusion everywhere, bringing total confusion everywhere. I saw the report, I read through it. It quoted that Nnamdi Kanu said that he was not the one that said there will be no election in Anambra State. Rather, it is the people that demand that there will be no election in Anambra State. And the media, the same thing that I'm talking about, because I read that yesterday and I decided to make this video today, saying that it is the media, Nigerian media and the other media that want to put him on the negative spot, trying to portray his position as, promoter of anarchy, that there will not be election in Anambra State. He denied the fact that he didn't say that there will be no election in Anambra State. Rather, it is the people that made such demands. And another example is his visit, very controversial. I decided not to bother myself around that until I speak with my brother, Nnamdi Kanu. I've not had the time to interact with him since after that, our last meeting, but I believe that we're going to have a meeting in the nearest future to dot the I's and cross the T's so that we know the direction we all are going. Now, that's his visit to Aguleri, talking about exoneration of Governor Obiano from being part or taking part in the killing of Biafrans that were shot dead during the protests in Anambra State or during the rallies in Anambra State. Now, that publication, some people have taken it as a political propaganda, a political tool for the upcoming Anambra election. Everybody has his own opinion. Everybody can read meaning into whatsoever. But I think the best person that is going to interpret that further should be Nnamdi Kanu, to tell the world how Obiano is not behind. Because so many people have been saying that definitely Obiano is not a police officer, neither is he an army, a soldier, that he will go out and kill or other people to kill our people. But the simple thing there is that he is the chief security officer of the state. And I believe that there are security briefings. He has security reports first hand of whatever that is happening in Anambra State. And nothing happens in Anambra State without his directive. If it is otherwise, I think what he should do is to come out, because he is there representing the people per se, holding the mandate of the people per se. He should be responsible enough to tell his people who was behind the killing of the Biafran people in Anambra State. I'm going to cut it off there because we're going to leave that for another episode of Biafran Discourse. I'll be stopping it right there, but I will not go without advising all the pro-Biafran group leadership should be mindful of the way they report about Biafra. The reason why we all came together, pulled our resources and our efforts together to establish Radio Biafra was to give our people, or rather, is to give our people a voice. Radio Biafra is the product and the institution of the entire Biafran people who have contributed their time, their energy, their resources to establish that platform. And subsequently, Biafra Voice International, that is BVI Channel 1, came up to add voice for the Biafran people, to give Biafran people voice to air their opinion and tell their story themselves. Because we don't expect our enemies to tell our story. That is why we have this media platform, and I hope more media platforms from the Biafran people would emerge. We have heard about Biafra 24. We have also heard of different factions of or different radio stations of Radio Biafra, Radio Biafra International, Radio Biafra London, Radio Biafra South Africa, and some other media platforms that the Biafran people have come together to pull together. Whatsoever thing you are reporting, you should be an image maker of the Biafran agitation. You should. We owe it as a point of responsibility. We owe it as a duty to our people to report Biafra the way it is. Because Biafra is nothing but peace, justice, equity, and fairness. Anything outside that is not about Biafra. Biafra is not about war. Biafra is not about bloodshed. Biafra is not about violence. Biafra is not about rebel. Biafra is not about breaking laws. Biafra is not an underworld gangster. Biafra represents a people who are determined to restore their God-given sovereignty as it were before colonization. I'm going to be ending it up. I'm going to be wrapping this episode right now, and I admonish you to drop your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. You can see us on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms. But don't forget to get news updates from our website, www.bvichannel1.com, to get constant news updates. I still remain your humble and one and only friend, the host, Asus Chinedu Peters. I love you to the bone. See you next time. Shalom.
Welcome to Forestville Luxury Hotel. At Forestville Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forestville Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeline Bamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forestvillehotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forestville Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.